Welcome to News9 and you are watching On Point. Today we have 3 on points. In the first on point, we look at the U-turn on end-of-life polluting vehicles in Delhi. In the second on point, we look at the rampant concretization that is leading to flash floods and rain fury in our mountains. In the third on point, we look at the controversy over the revision of electoral rolls in Bihar. And now, headlines. A strong India will contribute to more stable and prosperous world, says Prime Minister Modi in Ghana. Three Indians abducted in Mali. India asked West African nation to secure their safe release. Pakistan hockey team to take part in Asia Cup 2025 in India. India counters China's claim. Rijiju says nobody can choose successor but Dalai Lama himself. Accused who raped woman in Pune posing as a delivery agent arrested. Calcutta High Court directs West Bengal universities to close union rooms in aftermath of gang rape in Law College. Transformer catches fire at AIMS Trauma Center in Delhi. 8 fire engines douse the blaze. Setback for actress Jacqueline Fernandez. Delhi High Court rejects plea challenging Enforcement Directorate charge sheet in 200 crore money laundering case. Liverpool star Diogo Jota dies in tragic car crash in Spain. Footballer's younger brother also killed in a mishap. Amid growing public concern, the Delhi government has put the end-of-life vehicle impounding policy on hold just 2 days after its implementation. The move comes after widespread backlash from residents and criticism from opposition leaders over a lack of preparedness and technical flaws in the enforcement. Delhi Environment Minister Manjinder Singh Sirsa has requested Commission for Air Quality Management to suspend the July 1st ban on fuel for end-of-life vehicles due to the existing flaws in the automated number plate recognition system that include camera glitches and lack of database integration.
दिल्ली की सरकार ने क्या जारी किया? The enforcement agency should conduct continuous enforcement drives for phasing out end-of-life vehicles from public places of Delhi and should send daily report. रोज की रिपोर्ट दो और पब्लिक प्लेसेस से भी उठा के उनको लेके जाओ. 10 साल तक दिल्ली की अकेली देश की ऐसी स्टेट है, ऐसा डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, ऐसा राजधानी है, ऐसा यूटी है जिसके अंदर 10 साल और 15 साल के व्हीकल चलना पे मनाही है. और दिल्ली की सरकार ने जानबूझकर इस ऑर्डर को फर्दर इंप्लीमेंट किया बजाय कि जाके सुप्रीम कोर्ट को और एनजीटी को बताते और काम नेक करते. दिल्ली की सरकार ने नॉर्म्स बना दिए कि दिल्ली के लोगों की मेहनत की कमाई की गाड़ियों को कैसे उठाया जाएगा, कैसे तोड़ा जाएगा, कैसे खत्म कर दिया जाएगा. उनको हमने बताया कि जो ANPR कैमरेस लगाए हैं ये रोबोट सिस्टम नहीं है. अभी तक इनके अंदर बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस हैं. मैं बताना चाहता हूं पढ़कर. While the automated number plate recognition system cameras have been installed at most of the fuel stations, the system lacks the requisite robustness required for such crucial system. Some of them are They are crucial issues related to technological glitch, camera placement, sensors not working, speakers manipulation. ये स्पीकर्स भी मैनिपुलेटेड हैं, ये भी कोई चल नहीं रहा है, कोई बोल रहा है, कोई नहीं बोल रहा, ये माल फंक्शन एक अलग से है. इसके साथ ही सेंसर्स की प्लेसमेंट, ये सब चैलेंजेस हैं. हम जब कोर्ट पे CAQM पे ये जानकारी दें कि हम पोल्यूशन कम कर रहे हैं, तब हम यह भी उनसे सुनिश्चित करा सकें कि गाड़ियों की उम्र के हिसाब से नहीं, गाड़ियों को पोल्यूशन के हिसाब से बैन किया जाए, उनकी एज को डिफाइन करते हुए बैन ना किया जाए, उनकी पोल्यूशन की क्या कैपेसिटी है उसको देखते हुए बैन किया जाए.
The Delhi government has written to CAQM saying that the scheme should be implemented in Delhi only when it is implemented in the entire national capital region. So, what does it do? The CAQM told that the scheme is to be implemented in Delhi only when it is implemented in the entire NCR. Sirsa says AAP made rules in Feb 2024 on impounding vehicles without thinking it through. AAP government installed ANPR cameras, but courts and CAQM were not told the right thing. The BJP government has pointed out flaws in the ANPR system. Now let me take you through some data. In July 1st, 2025, Delhi government orders fuel ban on old vehicles. No refuel for 10-year-old diesel vehicle and 15-year-old petrol vehicle. 62 lakh vehicles reach end-of-life status in Delhi. Impacts 20 lakh four-wheelers and 41 lakh two-wheelers. July 3rd, Delhi government reverses end-of-the-life vehicle policy. Delhi Environment Minister writes to CAQM. Sirsa says vehicle phase-out policy not feasible to implement. He says the automatic number plate recognition system flawed. Will implement ANPR policy in Delhi once it's implemented in NCR. Now, what is the larger issue here in terms of technical aspect? Camera placement, sensors not working, speakers not functioning. System not integrated with database of NCR neighbouring state. The system is unable to identify end-of-life vehicles when there are issues with the high security registration plates. Not feasible to deny fuel on the basis of ANPR system in present form. Highlighting potential loopholes in the Delhi government, warned that enforcing the ban solely within Delhi would prompt vehicle owners to buy fuel from the bordering districts like Gurugram, Faridabad and Ghaziabad, undermining the initiative's effectiveness. A stage-wise implementation that begins only in Delhi will not serve its intended purpose, the letter states. The Delhi Chief Minister, Rekha Gupta, told CAQM the system will be implemented in Delhi only when it starts in neighbouring cities. And let me take you through some more details. According to the data, the total of 1.42 crore registered vehicles in Delhi fiscal year 22-23, of these 54,95,838 vehicles were deregistered and 6,23,034 vehicles obtained no objection certificate for sale registration in neighbouring cities. It created a panic. On this issue, I am joined by Rekha Gupta, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party. I am also joined by Anand Arya, environmentalist, and I am also joined by Akash Verma, spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you all of you for joining me. Now straight to you, BJP spokesperson. Madam, the words like Tughlaki Farman have been used, I understand, in press conference. A maximalist position needs to be taken. But do you think that this really resolves the problem or the larger issue of end-of-life vehicles? And what principle should be applied, madam? Pollution or the age?
Good evening, Karthik. I hope you're well. See, as you've seen the letter raised by Mr. Sirsa, basically all the strong objections with the recent decision to stop these, the fuel supply of end-of-life vehicles of Delhi, we've urged the CAQM to reconsider the directive in view of the widespread difficulties which are faced by the residents of Delhi. Sirsa ji has also highlighted the grave impact of the abrupt disruption. So if the daily lives and the livelihoods of lakhs of citizens are dependent on these vehicles, denial of the fuel supply, it causes immense chaos with the transportation, and there's a technical flaw. The intent was good, noble. Technical issues always come up when policies are implemented. In fact, they should have been done in 2015, where perhaps the population of the number of cars were way lesser. Now it's approximately 60 to 64. So, when you have to phase out such a large number, the practical purpose of it kind of becomes more a liability than a corrective course action. And this does not mean that other factors of pollution which are contributing constantly are not being corrected. Since the onset of the BJP coming into power, number of steps have been done to reduce the pollution. However, we have to see the larger picture that policies are made in the best interest of the people, but the good governance means listening, adapting, and improving the system. And to be honest, I'm happy to be a part of a government that listens rather than imposes decisions despite genuine concerns from the public. So I hope the technicalities are flawed out, NCR implementation happens, and then let's see how this unfolds.
Okay, Akash, your comment, because Sirsa said that this was a Tughlaki Farman by the Aam Aadmi Party's government.
See, since BJP has formed the government in Delhi, they have come up with all the anti-people policies, whether it would be banning the auto rickshaws, whether it would be demolishing the cluster areas, and now they have brought a new policy, and they have ordered that more than 60 lakh vehicles should be banned, and there would be no fuel supply to the people. What happened is the BJP has come with this anti-people, anti-middle class law. Now, why they have brought this? They have brought this because they are colliding with the automobile companies, scrap dealers, and more than 61 lakh middle class people will be affected by them. Now they have taking back it. Earlier,
Akash, I think you're getting it wrong. BJP is saying that they are providing relief. I mean, so
Yes.
what is your objection? I mean, so you have to get the argument right. Either you object to the withdrawal.
Can I come into that? Because I think he's got the whole fundamental wrong. Sir, let me just re-explain to you. When a policy is not being implemented for the people while they're not being receptive or able to adapt it, it takes great governance to roll it back because it's a sort of course correction. And we've said once it's implemented in the NCR with other technical compliances, we'll see how this unfolds. And you're talking about U-turns. Can I please remind you about your liquor policies? You guys had to roll it back despite claiming its superiority over the old policy. And you continue to claim the same today.
Let me also go to the anti-farmer laws.
Sir, I didn't interrupt.
No, this debate is not about farmer laws. Okay. This debate is not about the farmer's law, and I'm not going to let this debate actually deviate anything apart from car. I am not going to deviate this. I am not going to deviate. I'm not going to deviate. I'm going to go to Anand Arya. He's an environmentalist. There are two questions, sir. One is the question of pollution, sir. We all suffer from air pollution in Delhi. It's an accepted fact. The second is of the specificity of ownership of cars in this country. We are not United States of America, sir. The cars often become intergenerational thing. People retire with their cars, sir. So, my question to you, Anandji, is how are we supposed to look at the issue of pollution in context of a car? Should it be by age of the car or should it be by the metrics of the pollution it is creating? What should be done?
Actually, what you're saying is age has no relevance of anything for that matter. Because these vehicles, there are a number of vehicles, except for some commercial ones and some which are used very extensively. The vehicles are not used over a period of 10 years, to even their useful life of an engine. And therefore, the pollution, just because it is causing a pollution, it's on the basis of age. It's totally, absolutely, senseless. And number two, you have the pollution control norms. You can definitely improve them. You can tighten them. You can ensure that every vehicle meets seriously all the pollution norms laid. So, and in terms of a total pollution, whatever particulate matter the vehicles are creating is not that significant that it will create a problem for pollution per se. There are a number of other things which are causing a lot more pollution. Like, first thing, do our planners and our governments do not know that we need a certain amount of public transport given the population number or the growth in the population. Now, for that, have they done anything? No. They're trying to do it, but the kind of public transport system is just not there. And attached with this, the last mile connectivity. Even with,
No,
say, example,
Mr. Arya, what you are talking about mass transport system for the people who don't have car. I understand that. I'm talking about, for example, people who have. Sir.
I think what I'm saying is that a number of these vehicles, two-wheelers and three-wheeler or four-wheelers, are being used because the public transport is not adequate. And it's not totally
I have a
convenient.
different point of debate. This is not about public transport. I am saying that suppose I have a car of 20 lakhs, the government has put a great tariff on cars. Why am I supposed to buy for 25 lakhs when the car has not moved more than 50,000 kilometers?
Exactly.
So why are we enforcing this US sort of a commercialism in our economy?
That is why I am saying. And on top of it, you see, there is a breach of fundamental rights because of the exceptions made to this rule by the Supreme Court itself. They have granted that. The government of India, a number of vehicles. Let me just give you a very critical example, which will hurt, which everyone should know. The SPG vehicles, they are more than 10 years old today. Why are these on the roads? I don't care whether they were costing 1 crore, they were costing 5 crore, or how secure these vehicles are. They can be replaced. And particularly for the VIP security, we should have the technology of 2025 and not of the 2014.
Neoma, I'll come to you. Again, I don't want to go to the SPG vehicles. My point is very simple. I just want to focus my debate on the middle class here. It's not about SPG. It's about Neoma. Is there going to be some hope for the middle class? Are we going to give? Are we going to give into this the sort of policy where we scrap everything, which is very very sort of US commercialism being inserted in the system, Neoma? To you, Neoma.
Annual economic cost
Neoma.
of scrapping these vehicles,
Neoma, to you.
which are absolutely perfect.
Or do I interrupt you?
Neoma, yes, please go ahead, Neoma.
Okay, so see, it's not about hitting the middle class or any segment. The fact that they've rolled it back, Kartike, it's because there's no inconvenience to any citizen whatsoever. So we also understand the larger and the shorter picture of it. While we are taking a technical step, which was given by the NGT, then endorsed by the Supreme Court, and the CAQM, our minister has written to it, is because one has to see a harmonious integration of policy for any purpose whatsoever and course correction for it. So this is not about hitting any segment of society, any class. So let's not belittle a concept. Over here, everybody's lungs are deteriorated because of the we've had so many debates on your channel itself where you have relentlessly spoken about
the real issue is, it's such a nuance. Neoma, one more thing. The real issue is the 2T engines, the two-wheelers, they are causing the maximum pollution. But we understand that if we take them off the road, what will the poor people do? But there's also another thing. You have those cars which have been purchased by people, middle class, and you are asking them to scrap it. Even if they're doing well.
This was given by the NGT, then by the Supreme Court. It has been long in running. It should have been done many, many years back. If it was done many, many years back within a correct time frame, we wouldn't have such an inconvenience to so many number of people. So please see, the history of the practicality was completely avoided by the previous governments. However, over here, the fundamental purpose of BJP government is to reduce pollution and to take all necessary steps, but not at the inconvenience of every segment. It's not easy to roll back a policy which has been implemented in 48 hours because one listens to the people and we are not an echo chamber of their thoughts. We are doing what we think is correct in the larger interest of the people. It is not, we are not going to make any decisions which will hit any segment whatsoever. There are ongoing comprehensive actions which are happening. I was listening to the environmentalist also. The government has been taking vast measures since the time we've come into play. Sometimes some measures work, sometimes they don't work. But over here, whatever needful has to be done will be done by the BJP government with harmonious integration of the people.
question to you, Akash, is why did Aam Aadmi Party decide to go for the age principle and not the pollution principle? That is my question to you. Because it's a legacy decision. Your government was there.
So when the policy came, as earlier I said, it was NGT's order, not government's order.
But it could have been contested.
No, it's not about contesting. It was ordered by Supreme Court and it was ordered by NGT. And now, as BJP spokesperson said earlier, they claim that it's a SC order. It was a SC order. They are claiming the SC order. Now they have taken back the policy, and after facing the public aggression, they have taken back the policy, and now it seems that they doesn't obey the Supreme Court order. Why they have taken back?
But you see, I am not saying anything in defense of BJP, sir. But the basic principle of democracy is that the power to change policy lies with the elected representative, and the job of the court is to look at the constitutionality of it. I understand that.
Karthika, let me speak. Always it happens, BJP comes up with the anti-people law and they have taken back laws. कभी ये काले कानून लेके आते हैं, they have
sir, let's keep it to the car. Let's keep it to the car. You want to criticize them on car? Let's keep it to the car.
I'm giving an example. I am giving an example.
Keep it to the car.
I'm giving an example. As I have given the example of demolishing the clusters, that was also anti-people law.
Akash, let's not trivialize this debate. People are so worried right now. उनको अपनी गाड़ियां बेचनी पड़ रही हैं. I would say, in this country, when you say middle class, it becomes a job. अरे आप तो अमीरों की बात कर रहे हैं. But the fact of the matter is, the entire country will be middle class.
Now what BJP now they should do for the people.
Explain what?
After facing the public, they have announced the policy that there will be no fuel refilling for the vehicle up to after 10 years or more than 10 years or more than 15 years for the petrol and diesel respectively. So now, after facing the people's aggression, they have taken back the order of Supreme Court. Now, is that means earlier they were claiming that Supreme Court has ordered. हमने नहीं किया, it was Supreme Court. Now they have taken back. So they doesn't they obey the Supreme Court?
Can I just say, I think I'll make it very quick, because I don't think the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson knows the meaning of democracy.
I'm respond to it.
Yeah, I don't think the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson knows the meaning of democracy. It's a government of, for and by the people. And when it course correction, sir, shows strong leadership and not weakness. And we will do everything whenever required. We govern for the people, not for ourselves. And this,
prepare yourself and then pass any policy, ma'am.
There is a protocol to debate. Kindly keep quiet when I'm talking. And this attitude is reflected from the conduct of our corporators. For us to roll back today, what happened was because we saw the inconvenience of the people. We are requesting the CAQM to integrate it in the NCR and take away the technical flaws. So kindly read the letter of Sirsa ji to the CAQM before coming and, making such baseless accusations.
Mr.
Please
Arya,
go through the documents.
Mr. Arya, a closing comment from you. How do you think this situation can be resolved? What happens to the cars which are end of life? What happens to them? They all go to the scrap. 61 lakh. Create another mountain of aluminium.
Now you just look at it. I mean, this is hitting the middle class and the poor below the belt, actually. If you scrap all these 60 lakh vehicles, and even if you put a lakh of rupees on a value on an average, the residual value of vehicles, motor cars and the scooters and two-wheelers, what is the enormous amount? You're talking about 60,000 crores. And then every year you will be scrapping something like 7, 8, 10,000 crores worth of public money. For what? Even if the vehicle is not polluting, why? A vehicle which has done 30,000, a retired person today, middle class, he runs maybe 3,000 kilometers a year. So how the hell in heaven's name, why do you want to burden that person who is living on pension or maybe on the savings?
Absolutely.
This decision in itself is wrong. And that, okay, of course, if the Supreme Court says it has to be implemented come hail or whatever, hail or storm, we don't care. then of course, then give them time. I mean, there has to be a certain amount of a system to scrapping the vehicle.
So the only
and why not then? Why
Mr.
not
Arya,
then all over?
Mr. Arya, the only institution which is going to be very happy with it are the banks, because no one goes with a down payment to buy a car. You are just making the banks happy, and I'm very happy that something is being done on this, because I feel very strongly about this issue. Because in this country, people buy a car, they remain with the car, and sometimes they give it to their sons to try it. It is an intelligent. We are not an extremely rich society. It's not United States of America. You use it and you scrap it, and anyway, it's one, it's not economical, and second, it's not environmentally feasible. I think there has to be a relook. I think the government must go for it. They should enforce a pollution check in Delhi, but this policy should be revisited. And I think if the BJP is taking the first baby step, it should take the second baby step and should not resign and wait for the courts to again get into the matter of policy, because the policy should be decided by the lawmakers. And the courts have the job to see the constitutionality of it. Thank you all of you for joining me on this debate. This was On Point 1. And in the second On Point, we look at the growing urbanization that is leading to floods in our mountains. And people are saying it's because of climate change. But the fact of the matter is, we have also contributed to it. But after a short break.
पार्टी हॉर्न्स भी होने चाहिए, मंगा लेती हूँ। स्ट्रॉबेरी भी मंगा लेती हूँ, खाकरा मंगवा लेती हूँ, थेपला भी मंगवाएगी, थेपला भी मंगवा लेती हूँ, छाछ मंगवा लेती हूँ, स्पार्कलिंग कैंडल्स मंगवा लेती हूँ। अलग अलग मत ऑर्डर कर, एक बार में मंगवा, एफर्ट्स और पैसे दोनों बचा।